Copy. 332 and 342. You guys can be clear.
Thank you. 332, copy. We'll just check the area.
Copy. 211. 342. You guys can be clear.
All right. Sorry, running a little late today. It's been a crazy day, crazy morning, and crazy early afternoon, and I actually had to couldn't go live for a while because we were tracking down some juvenile suspects, and the CAT team just did a tremendous job along with the sheriff and Pat Scott in tracking down these young men and back to where their neighborhood was. I'll tell you more here in a minute. So I just didn't want to show any juveniles on the live stream or risk having any names being thrown out there. So I had to finish up helping them and then run down, and had some issues with my safe in the back of my car, so I had to improvise a little bit today, but we're ready to go. Before we get going, I want to recognize the officers from the Fargo Police Department that were shot this week, and the innocent civilian. We still don't know a lot of details about that case, but unfortunately we lost a tremendous public servant who had only been with the Fargo PD for a short while, but had served in the National Guard as well. And many of the people I know that are police officers that are also in the National Guard knew him and posted about it. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and to the families and friends and colleagues of all of the officers that were shot. I pray that they would all have a healthy, full recovery and be able to live their lives again. I mean, these are people who just went to work, just a normal day, just like we do every day, and they respond to an accident scene, and they're there to assist the citizens and help people, and they end up getting shot by someone, and we don't know yet what his motive was, or I don't know because I'm not involved in the investigation at all. I'm sure they may know by now, but it doesn't matter. There's no reason for this. So anyway, please join me in thinking about and supporting their families. I'm sure there are GoFundMe's out there by now. I haven't seen any yet, but whatever you could do to support them would be extremely helpful. So since early this morning, we have been chasing around a group of young people. I believe they're all juveniles. There may be one adult in there who were stealing cars and then using those to break into other cars and then stealing other cars. And so far today that I'm aware of, we've recovered 3 of those vehicles that and we're able to track them down to a location and get them in custody. There's one more that they were looking for when I left the scene to go get ready. and it sounds like they just got him into custody. But unfortunately, these kids, instead of going to a summer job or summer school, decide to go out and steal from people's cars and steal their cars and do damage to them and use the credit cards they find in them. And they're not strangers to us.
Big thank you to the EHM guy.
These are kids that we know well, that there's always one or two that will show up in these cases that we may not know, that are new, but for the most part, they're kids that we know, and we know their MOs, so we're able to track them down and work with their probation officers and use all the technology we have at our disposal to get them in custody, and do it in a way that's safe, where no one gets hurt. As far as I know, no one was hurt this morning, and if you saw how they were driving these cars, it's amazing that nobody was hurt. I'm gonna keep the radio up,
George Henry Robert 546.
so you can hear what's going on. I'm monitoring all of the stations in the city of St. Paul and in Ramsey County, and some metro-wide and statewide channels, so if something kicks off, we will know. And those also are where the helicopter will communicate with the ground troops, and that's about it. So we have probably about 10 channels that we're currently scanning. I just turned one off because our apprehension team is doing what they do best, which is going out and looking for people who are wanted for murders and shootings and rapes and you name it, felony type crimes. And they are cross-deputized as U.S. Marshals, and they're out working hard, so I don't want to give up where they are or what they're working on, but they've been very active the last week, taking homicide suspects into custody from other cities and getting folks that were wanted out of Ramsey County, and couldn't have a better team doing that. Then obviously the carjacking and auto theft team is unbelievable. Today we were able to recover a lady's stolen BMW before she was even able to make the report that it was stolen with Minneapolis. She had called in, we were able to hear that, tie it into the string we were working on, and then able to pursue that vehicle and make sure it got entered in as stolen, and so that we could then recover it. Still a little hazy out today from wildfires up north. It's not as bad as it was over the weekend, but it's definitely cooled off a little bit. Let's see here if I can see. The temperature says it's 73 degrees. It's very nice. That's 73 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you from other countries. I'm Mike Martin, and for those of you who are new to Live on Patrol, I'm Mike Martin. I'm an Undersheriff with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office in the state of Minnesota. The largest city in Ramsey County is the capital city of St. Paul. So we spend a lot of time in St. Paul, especially doing some of the work that we do. I oversee the carjacking and auto theft team, the violent crime enforcement team, the apprehension team, the intelligence folks that both do intelligence to support investigations and real-time intelligence out to the street officers and sending them photos of suspects or vehicles or pulling up live feeds from the public cameras. And I also oversee our Central Investigations Unit, which is they investigate all of the cases that are reported in the contract cities. And the SWAT team and the mobile response team. So I have a lot of stuff on my plate, but it's a lot of interesting and fun stuff to do. And I'm fortunate enough to have some great deputies that work for me and supervisors. We're eastbound on White Bear. I'm sorry, we're eastbound on Maryland at White Bear. Over the weekend on Friday, there was a burglary at a school right over here, a couple blocks over. St. Paul officers did a tremendous job of stopping a vehicle that was leaving the area and apprehending the suspects who had broken into the school. I never did hear what they took, but apparently it wasn't the first time they had broken into the school.
Several contacts with that individual. DIC.
We just info for Roseville Squad. That same phone number called regarding him, but she was coming back within 46 meters of 3052 Old Highway 8.
So you can hear the dispatchers talking there. The squads from the city of Roseville and from the city of New Brighton, both of whom have their own police departments. They were talking to each other about information about a caller who was suicidal and has been calling both agencies.
Andrew 94, he's on the south side of the gas station along 5th Street.
It often helps us consider the best way to interact with somebody who's we have to report to. I'm sorry, we have to respond to and deal with, but if we know there's a history of mental illness or suicidal tendencies or violent tendencies or carrying weapons, those are things that just make us safer.
Looks like he's on his phone right now. Both side of an ice.
We're south on White Bear at 7th on the east side of St. Paul. Today I could tell you that the group of juveniles that we were, I hate to say chasing around because we weren't chasing them. We were trying to find them. It wasn't an active pursuit. But they were from the east side of St. Paul, but during the day we tracked them all through the west side, or through the west end of St. Paul, and into Minneapolis, to South Minneapolis, and all around.
802 to Roseville. Is he cooperative?
So we're still southbound on White Bear. We're passing 5th. We're coming up to 3rd here. And yes, there is a 4th, but in the middle. Right by Red Savoy Pizza. Some of the best pizza you'll ever eat. I would put it in my top
Is there a phone number you guys can find for him and throw it in the call?
5 to 10 in the Twin Cities. I'm hoping my feed is better today, and there's a little bit less of the buffering. Of course, as I say that, it looks like it buffered a little bit, but
building motion alarm, Keeler requested dispatch, so don't let you be there.
my car did not have a good cell booster like most of the squads have in it, so I just got done getting one put in here this last week. Adam over at EATI took care of me. Such a great guy, such a great business over there, installing our lights and sirens and fancy stuff and our communications equipment and you name it. I'm pretty sure if I told him I wanted a giant bullhorn on the roof like the Blues Brothers had, he could do it. But it would probably take a couple hours to find it, put it on, but I'll bet Adam could do it.
The Rosedale Mall by Potluck, there's a female, or an employee that's passed out, 18-year-old female. Hey, here, Gabby.
18-year-old employee passed out. Hopefully she's okay at Rosedale Mall. Maybe she's just working a little too hard today, hopefully, and not sick or have other issues.
5388, copy. The Panhandler, 1215 Larpenteur at Holiday.
I'm gonna go east here on Suburban.
2268 status. Yes, go for it.
Go for it.
Right, on the disorderly, the construction worker.
Turn on Burns over here and check a little area where we get some stolen dumped. Not seeing any new cars right now in that area. It's all the regulars.
Construction vest, brown belt, baggy light watch jeans. Assembly on this is about 30.
For those of you who aren't familiar with this area, this is kind of the Battle Creek area over here. If you go further down, you end up down by Battle Creek, and there's a park. There's a water park down there. I don't know if the golf course is still operating there. It's been kind of up in the air for a while, whether or not they were going to close it or not, but so I don't know if it's actually been closed.
7221, can you show me how that Tuesday that when I was repeating, please?
There's a squad that can break. We have another suicidal male, 1433 10th Street Northwest, number 305. One that called us directly, so they're standing by for a suicidal 37-year-old male who's cooperative. No further info.
3942,
So that suicidal male was up in the city of New Brighton, where we couldn't hardly be further away and still be in the county, but unfortunately lately there seems to be a lot of people who are suicidal. I don't know what it might be that's driving that, but it's sad. Definitely seen a big increase in the number of motorcycles. I say that because there's one behind me. You might hear it. Honestly, we don't get those in the winter or even in the spring because there's debris and moisture still on the roads. But this time we get it, unfortunately. That means it's involving them because people they don't watch when they change lanes, and some of the motorcyclists are not the safest riders in the world. As tributes to us. I know when to say accident involving a stolen motorcycle. This is over the weekend where another leave the drive.
maybe 394.
Okay, 35.
I'm not sure what time. I think it's later in the year when Sturgis takes place, and we get a lot of motorcyclists passing through on their way to Sturgis, or people here getting their bikes ready for Sturgis. Sturgis is a big rally in South Dakota, and
Ron, that's where you're there.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
sir.
guess hundreds of thousands of
Is it the driver's side back window that's broken out on that?
motorcycles that head there for the rally every year.
Both passenger windows are intact. Driver's window down, and looks like the back driver's side is broken out.
I've been invited to work the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally a few times
The left rear was broken
because
out.
of all of the outlaw motorcycle gangs that
You're correct.
attend, but it's not usually very feasible for me to take off work to do that.
Tango. 2017.
We're west on 3rd with Germain,
179.
right by Harding High School.
Copy, Concordia Dale on DPD. Copy.
Hey, Randy, you copy?
So the sheriff's out working, Pat's out working.
White Cadillac, California.
All the younger CAT team members, I think, are out working, the ones that work during the day, trying to Kyle and Thomas
Somebody email
and
me, Harris's warrants.
Kyle, Thomas,
Okay.
Joe Kill, Ron Nafla, Joe Odegaard, who's currently he's coming down. He's going to work the night shift, but he's working days for a little bit,
If there was an issue, it's gonna last
just to
now.
kind of get used to how Day Watch operates.
Ivy Avenue East, there's a black four-door SUV parked in front of the address, occupied by two black males.
2264.
6-4.
Myself and 62 will be inside 1550 LARP, apartment 334, getting some belongings out.
Copy, 15 Library, number 334. Copy. Affirmative.
Covered property, 954 Rainy, the red Kia Echo Romeo Golf, 653, unoccupied, code 4.
Copy, 955 Rainy.
So one of the CAT team members, it sounded like, is found a stolen car we were looking for earlier today. I think it was a CAT team member, just based on the voice, but we'll head over that way and see if we can. Yeah, it is one of our CAT folks. And we will head over that way and see
Copy, 242,
what they got. We're not too far away, but they said it was unoccupied, so there's no hurry.
2263.
We have a panic alarm at Madness Heights City Hall. It's at 800 County Road E. Unknown were in the building. It was a single button panic. JC called the premise number and all was fine with the person that she spoke to.
Spots will be clear. Record. 9261, I copy the hour. 227, cancelable spots. They'll take probably. I'll replace them.
636. When you guys are there.
District up.
So we got Ron Nafla out here.
Medical,
And looks like Joe Miller.
Road, apartment 223, it's a 90-year-old female.
What's up, guys? I'm live, so don't swear. I know how you guys are.
What is that?
Well, you know, like, I swear, I pledge allegiance.
Muted right now?
Nope. Hi. Ron Nafla here. Ron wears two hats. He is a commander with us, and he works in the CAT team. He is also the chief of the Minnesota State Fair Police. Would you like to invite everyone to the fair?
We'd love to have everyone come to the fair.
All right. There you go. You got a personal invite from the chief of police to the fair.
Marco, Nate, and Eric, and we're coming down.
Did you guys see that couple blocks over? There's a fresh stolen.
On Beach?
Yeah.
He did.
So,
He left it running.
Copy that.
this one?
No. The one on Beach was
Oh,
left running.
he did? Okay. All right. All right, Jelly Joe, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, we're just coming back down, but then we're
I'm live.
Hello, backseaters. Jelly Joel. I don't know if Undersheriff Martin described what we were doing. We're out in a recovery of a stolen motor vehicle at Rainey and Forest. They were involved in a number of things this morning and afternoon, and kind of putting all the pieces together to
We were kind of chasing our tail this morning. Just
yeah,
one car to the next, but it all worked out. And that's good.
we got several in custody. Just putting the pieces together right now.
People are saying hi, Jelly Joe.
Well,
I still haven't read the Jelly Joe book.
Oh, it's a great book. Probably, I think it's up there with the New York bestseller. You should check
Is
it out.
it?
Check my blog out. I'll be here all week.
Right next to
Just kidding.
Mighty Mike Saves Frogtown.
I don't have a blog, but it sounded funny.
And nowadays, I think it would be a vlog.
255, can I get medics to my location? Conscious of breathing, adult, female, Marco 4. Copy, 645.
Oh, someone said. I saw the comment about carrying at the fair. The problem is policy. Pay grade, right?
That is a true story.
We don't write force them. So, well, I'm going to go back, see what else is going on. So the CAT team, I can tell you, we were crunching numbers earlier, well, previously, and then discussing them earlier today. They have over $7 million in recovered property in vehicles since they started 2 years ago.
We had a report that some kids had broken in here before, and checking it out, we saw the door that's wide open. We're gonna go.
That's a lot of money. Hundreds of cars, hundreds of arrests. We're not sure. There's a lot of controversy over where the nickname Jelly Joe came from. Some believe it's the gel he puts in his hair. Some believe that he was the PB and J. He was the J and Pat, Bob, and Jelly Joe's ride along for a while. So, but I'm gonna go with the gel in the hair. I like the gel in the hair. We're northbound on Forest on the east side of St. Paul, Minnesota. Just passing York. We passed over Fayland. In Sims this past Friday.
Sheriff, got it.
You may have been watching when we recovered a stolen over here.
Good copy.
Three, four, two.
342.
You know, then get 84 to 81st.
I'll tell you one thing that's interesting driving around in the cities. Churches, just different churches, different denominations. Some extremely old buildings, architecture. It's fun. Old churches that some have been turned into residential or commercial property.
3447, clear report.
Interesting things there. I mean, once that St. Paul was the city where there's a bar and a church on every street corner.
80 to 96, 8620. Split distance 116 30th Avenue Northwest, sending to your hotel.
So we're back now westbound on Maryland. We're going to go just keep cruising and probably go over into the Central District while we look for this Chevy Silverado 2013. Oh, it says it's a white. It's white on the hit that I'm getting now. So 2013 Chevy Silverado white.
Be clear and be back across to that other call. 623 spots are clear, so then we'll start to that wall for check to place.
Park here in Lexington on a female that bus not
2304, taxi back.
Copy.
Thank you.
2318 Gulfway Drive, Madam Sarko. District 1
Thanks, two guys.
So you heard the officers get a call for a medic
353 clear, system with 342 and 35.
to assist on someone who fell. They got dispatched to that. They got on and said the medics could advise. In other words, the medics will get there. If the medics thinks that the story's fishy and there might be some foul play, then the medics can call.
This is the
And
Shoreview Community Center in the upper lot. The red key is ported, just marked as suspicious. I don't know if it's occupied. I'm still waiting on more.
2271.
then they can always have the officers come there, but if the call doesn't sound suspicious at all, then the medics can just handle it themselves.
Take 4.
4.
53.
Two 361, you can interview that suspicious.
Copy.
Copy.
The first squad, the caller said the vehicle has Ford Escape badging on the vehicle and coming back to the key is ported.
Alright, yeah, well, probation tomorrow, and then we'll see if IPs are still holding in St. Cloud. It's kind of high enough Wednesday, maybe, if that pattern stays. This conversation we're going to have tomorrow, it's going to work in it.
So we're back. We're on Arc Right. We're gonna take a left and go westbound on Maryland into the Central District, which means I need to change my radio.
Well, if we do it, it'd probably be kind of like that sitting lane, you know, they post their head out, right safer, pick them off, open air in the vehicle, so yeah, just, it wouldn't be super time or nothing, but I just want to get up there.
So I kind of turned the sound down because I think they're talking about something that they might do in the future, and the last thing we want to do is tip off the bad guys.
6 Charlie Juliet 404 to Mexico.
Copy the plate. 52 Copy.
So we're westbound on Maryland. Just crossed over 35E, and we're going to be crossing over the railroad tracks here now. So as we do that, as we cross over from district to district, I changed my radio station on my portable radio that I wear on my belt. That way on the right channel. If I have to get out and chase someone or approach someone or handle a call, then I know I'm always on the right channel. And then the one in the car I can have scanning, and I can put this as the primary channel, or I could have something else. So right now I have our Intel channel as my primary channel, so I can hear what the CAT team and others are talking about. We're approaching Rice Street up here. We're gonna go south. We're right by Tin Cups in the Minocco station.
Squad 730 Kennedy, that's just 2755, I'll be clear for this. West, caller says there's an approximately 7-year-old running westbound Uni by himself. The caller believes he lives in the building and possibly has options, so we don't see any parents around him currently. 150, I'll go. Give me another car though.
So we're still going south on Rice, past at Bourne's Bar.
He was wearing
Always a busy place.
Tropical colored shorts, no shoes. You haven't seen it yet, dude. And it's not coming back, it's stolen. Well, maybe he meant the front entrance of the city hall. Not seeing it here.
Southbound on Rice. I think I might have said northbound earlier and lied, but we're southbound on Rice at Pennsylvania, coming into what is a very busy area. to go west, west here on University. For those of you who are new to what we do, Sheriff Bob Fletcher is the elected sheriff of Ramsey County. About 3 years ago now, he started live streaming his patrols and talking to the viewers to explain to them kind of what we do, how law enforcement works, how we think, how we act, and how we interact with people. It really is an educational program to try to build community engagement, educate the public, and also give you a chance to give us feedback. Over time, it's grown to where first he had his partner Pat Scott, who's a deputy, but they both worked together at the St. Paul Police Department previously. They started riding together, and then Jelly Joe joined them for a while. And let's see, I might have been next, patrolling on Mondays. And then the CAT team was created about 2 years ago, the carjacking and auto theft team. And so now we have 3 days a week, we have a live program. Mondays with Mike, which is what you're watching, and I'm usually out every Monday at some point in the afternoon. Depends on what's going on. And then on Wednesdays, some of the younger guys from the CAT team go out and patrol. And then on Fridays, Bob and Pat are out at 9/11 on Friday nights, and they generally will live stream till about 2 or 3 in the morning, depending on how busy it is. And oftentimes they're out with Sergeant Mark Suki, also known as Sticks Suki, and Nicole Sparks. And so we try to give you a different perspective so that you can get an idea of what's going on. So we're westbound on University Avenue at Dale Street. At this point, we moved from the Central District into the West District, so I'll have to change my channel again on my portable radio. On our left-hand side are the light rail tracks. We have light rail trains that run from downtown St. Paul all the way out to Minneapolis to Target Field, U.S. Bank Stadium. You can get off at U.S. Bank Stadium and switch line, which will take you out to the airport, the Mall of America. And now they're currently working on a couple other lines, so you can also take the heavy rail from the Target Field station that goes all the way up to the city of St. Cloud, almost at St. Paul.
115, check another channel. Negative on the callback to the original count. Drop.
680, are you guys looking for a Spanish speaker?
Somali.
150, 262 is around. Comes the language.
150 copy. We'll be with Mom here at corner of University and Pryor. If we can get someone to be, say, go south to St. Anthony, Pryor, or Fairview, somewhere in that area. Someone can watch us in there.
So we're kind of headed into that area where that officer's taking the call. I'm gonna look up the call
It sounds like the
because
description's probably going to be the same as the one the original cop called on.
Got an approximately 7-year-old Somali male, green shirt, tropical colored shorts, no shoes, has autism.
so there's a young Somali male that's running out on the street, and he's autistic and doesn't have shoes on, it sounds like, and so officers are in the area and we'll be headed that way looking for him.
150, take 4.
Let's see here.
50 to 4.
The mom's frantic, as you could imagine. You could hear her in the background. It's a Somali male. He's wearing a green shirt, tropical colored shorts, and no shoes.
For a 4-year-old claiming to be working for the city and offered speakers on a cupcake. Vehicle is a black Chevy Silverado with 10 plates.
So I'll let you know when we get in close enough to where you can help me look for this young man. But obviously a young, vulnerable child is always going to be one of our highest priorities, and especially a child who's autistic, maybe in increased.
150 Pryor University. I'm guessing water attraction is in a little lake at Iris Park, so we're going to check that first.
Maybe more in danger because he may not understand the risk that he's at, but we're now in the area, so we'll be looking for this young man.
I'm going to change my order. I'll be clear PCR. There's 371. I'll be clear in just a second. I'll go with them. Copy. 16.
You should just be in front of the exit with the child. 150, did you copy that as well? $150. Squad 150.
Sounds like they found the child. They're trying to reach the officer on the scene
3934. Could you re-air the address?
to let him know.
3934. Could you repeat yourself?
2632.
So it looks like the child went over to a department store that's across the street down
150.
here.
I don't know if you copied. They had the child at Menards, 179's with the store manager there. They're in front of the exit door. Copy, I'll bring mom there. Copy.
So there you go.
Show me up to 325 Cedar for a TLC.
They have the child safe at the Menards store.
Copy.
And the officer's going to bring the mom over there and reunite her with her child.
That's for the others.
Copy, thank you, 535.
5 through 6, I'm going to go through.
Copy, 536.
100 from almost erratic.
Colored Jeep. I think it's a Cherokee, newer model, driven by a black. Take a look.
The husband forgot to clear the alarm, and we will be there.
From her granddaughter, waiting in a red Toyota Kick.
Joe Miller.
And that they would like to have her removed.
Copy.
On the other side of the street, you can probably see all the parade of St. Paul squads that were coming over to help that are now turned around and going back to whatever they were assigned to before or other calls. But again, a missing child is about as high a priority as we get.
177 copy, suspicious in area 693 Asbury for a male that was walking through the alley, appeared to be looking for something. 640.
$52.84, $52.82. North Hamlin at St. Rosa Lane, the Catholic Church. Suspicious motor van in the parking lot occupied by male and female. Caller thinks it's suspicious because there's a slip in the
Okay, 4564.
Homeowner is the least violent insurance.
Take copy for the start back to Falcon Heights at 1550 Larpenter, and the same parties are back on scene, refusing to leave.
$23.72, I can head down.
So we're way over on the west end of St. Paul, close to the Minneapolis border. An area that we don't get to a lot.
110 violation. Alright, dude. You'll be en route back to 1845 University. Over.
Yeah, that's the key. 79.
So far, request on that 3614.
Now we're down on an interesting street called the Pierce Butler route. And it's basically an east-west quick bypass to the main roads that allows people to get back and forth a little more quickly.
From damage for 555 of Canada Road.
Should be next inning.
Zero 7.
307.
Can you call the council 23 when you get a chance?
10 in the council.
23.
Everything.
1619. There's 78, check your status.
Go for it.
Copy, so far. 1619.
We're going eastbound on the Pierce Butler route, headed back over to the Central District.
Copy the DOC and a cause with this at 935 Sim Unit 3. For the caller's daughter's 3 friends outside yelling and threatening them.
Back in there.
5 degrees.
Come on, seeing a 325 seater. Looks like it's between 2 females.
Nothing between 2 females.
Pop out over here on the Minnehaha. back in the Central District.
Two six two. Squad 262.
Go ahead.
Blue squad to back 1103 Woodbridge on a juvenile. Caller found a 2 to 3 year old black male.
5284. Gateway.
1523.
So they said the caller found a 2 to 3 year old black male with no adult near him
Squad to back.
walking in the area. So we'll head that way.
235, I can go.
Thank you, 235. 1623.
Obviously, in a case like that where juveniles found wandering around by themselves, especially one that young, we not only want to reunite that juvenile with their parent, but we want to figure out what in the heck they were doing out on their own. Was it just a deal where a parent turned around quick and the kid disappeared, took off running? Is it some type of a neglect situation? Is it, is there more to it than that? So,
4450, clear report.
so we're still a ways off. Hopefully they can find a parent for that kid before we get over there, but we'll head that way.
Why don't you clear 235 from that juvenile? We'll get a afternoon car to go with them.
Okay, 235, you can be clear.
Copy. Thank you.
You're welcome, 1625.
2632. I'll be finding shortly and I'll take off.
Copy. 1625.
Just kind of a chilly day today. 74 degrees, but there's a little bit of a wind, and it's coming out of the northwest, so we're getting a little bit more, just a little chillier temperature than we're used to.
2267. I'll be en route to 3692 Edgerton and follow up for this.
7033.
Copy 703K.
On car to car. Go ahead. Hey, were you down there earlier, or what's the deal? Yeah, the group of like 6 family members that are heavily intoxicated, falling over, pushing each other over. Like 2 of them are back. Alright, copy. I'm kind of a ways off still, but I'm on my way. Copy, I'm with Labs Guard. We'll be alright.
So we're in the area where this child was found wandering around, and we'll see if we see any parents that are frantically looking for a kid. Are you looking for a kid? Okay, sick. Yeah, hold on. How old?
He's 2 years old. He's autistic.
Okay, yeah, hold on just a second. Why don't you hop in? I gotta see which address they're at.
23.
Somewhere, someone grabbed him up and it kept him. Can I bring my baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on in.
We have a harness on him for this reason. This is my biggest fear. This is the dad to my kid.
I was on the wrong channel here. Hold on.
He said they're gonna take me to the address.
Yeah, it's just right over here.
Here, grab her.
600.
Where?
Down
2007.
Somebody grabbed him?
Like, he must have walked off and somebody probably just kept him or something.
I have the mother looking for that 2-year-old.
Oh my god, I look freaking dumb right now. He's autistic and he just runs off and oh my god, I'm so freaking thankful.
Hi.
Oh my god. This guy. Baby.
Hey buddy.
I have 3 truly a scratch today.
Just around the corner.
307.
Could you create me on PCN?
Okay. No, that's okay. I wanted to make sure it wasn't.
Copy 1695 Southern Street.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it, sir.
All right, so the child is autistic and wandered off just literally around the corner, and fortunately 2007.
2007.
The child has been reunited with the mom.
Every child's been reunited. 5333.
I appreciate you.
5333 copy.
That's all I was worried about. That's all I was worried about.
Thank you too. Thank you so much.
No problem.
2007 advised that the child's been reunited with the mother.
Having another baby on my birthday.
Crazy.
For him. Thank you.
623, I'll take that. Just fire you back.
743, turn your to Charlie.
Yes. Yeah, I'm letting everybody know that we found mom.
I call in the township 1986 Ridgewood
Yeah.
Avenue. 56-year-old male patient at Grinder Wheel cut his leg.
Yes, hopefully.
2365.
Thanks.
Surprise video chain run.
Alright, so child's been reunited with mom. Mom says the child's nonverbal and autistic and just wanders away. And she actually had a harness on the child but was letting him play in the yard, and she turned her back and he was gone. So, fortunately, a nice lady and her daughter found the baby in the alley and called 911. So all's well that ends well.
Just fire 2705 Herschel Street North. Fire alarm sounding.
301 fire, go ahead.
6833.
Andre on car. Go ahead. He can clear. He's not here, so I'm just gonna quickly clear this up and I'll be clear as well. 5983 area.
1636.
What's it for?
Go to harassment at 1595 St. Anthony Avenue. It was in teleserve caller saying he had been harassing a girl he knows that was threatening him and making threats to have people come over to hurt him. He's saying that there's 4 males now on scene in relation, and said that they probably are armed with pistols. The same caller, we've had a few calls out there today for, he's likely PIC. He was calling earlier saying the males were climbing the sides of the building.
164 copy.
1636. Then put us, there's a DOC Anthony male, a white Ford Explorer for a passenger, a shooting paintball gun.
So if you can't tell by the potholes, we're back on Rice Street. Sorry. I forgot what they call a pothole there for a minute. But
6-2 call. He's having uniform difficulties. After that, he can clear.
6-1.
He can clear 2610.
you know, the sad part is there are times when we find these children wandering away and or a citizen finds them and calls, or we see them in the middle of the night, and there's no parent looking for them. The parents are oblivious or intoxicated, and so it's nice to have one where you have a mom who's upset, out looking, and who cares, and hopefully she'll keep a little closer eye on them. But I can tell you, I was with my nephew's kids yesterday for a little bit. They were visiting, and you forget how active the kids could be at that age and how fast they could get from one area to another.
676, check yourself.
Squad 676 on channel 1 status. It's E24, clear Joy.
K39. Six, 7, 6 on channel 3. Negative response 640. 676, checking your status.
I'm northbound on Rice. We just entered between the city of Roseville and the city of Maplewood, and still in Ramsey County.
And Marnie on the Black Mirror car racing area all day. David on a domestic secondhand as well as father's 19-year-old daughter is having a domestic with her boyfriend. Refusing to let her leave the apartment. I'm on the park number. Trying to find out more. Female's name is Hilaria.
So we're still northbound on Rice. We're entering the city of Little Canada.
50 copies from
Little Canada is one of our contract cities, so we spend time patrolling here. We respond to 911 calls. We handle investigations of incidents that occur in Little Canada. We would support them with our SWAT team if needed. I'm trying to think, there maybe been a couple times in the last 5 years that we used SWAT in Little Canada. Maybe.
263 Tango, 31 Delos, Department D Delta. On a juvenile complaint.
But it's generally a very nice, quiet
outside playing and hitting their window with
suburban
balls,
area.
requesting officers to speak with children.
Hold on.
16, 43. 15.
Just drove by Flame Burger, an iconic restaurant in Little Canada,
287, 263.
especially for those late night, early morning
287.
craves.
I'm going to divert you guys. Maryland and McCubbin, Medic, laying on the bank of the lake, off of the walking path that runs parallel to McCubbin, north of the dock.
87 copy.
Every 4.
Squad 132.
Good night.
So as we drive north, on the right-hand side is Little Canada, left-hand side is Roseville. So we often end up assisting each other in this area. I know a few years ago, maybe, a few years ago, we had a shooting that actually occurred on the Roseville side,
Squad 150.
but they tried to drive the victim
157.
to the hospital and ended up on the Little Canada side. And
Squad 410. 2450.
it was a little confusing, but we all helped each other.
Call at Marydale Park at Maryland and McCubbin. Not sure if you guys want to go. There's a mill laying on the bank of the lake off the walking path that runs parallel to McCubbin, north of the dock. It's a man down call, so the medics will be in Maryland.
We're gonna drive down here, down south of Owasso Boulevard, and see if
They don't know yet. Squads aren't on scene yet. I can keep you apprised if you'd like.
anything's going on down at our water patrol station.
Pressure 1700 DOT. 230. 232. 235. 239. 242.
242 negative.
240.
3.
250.
50.
255.
Well, they're all out and about, and
259. Any other cars for 1700
so that's good.
Good day, guys. 246.
And I am going to call it a day here. I have to go to my daughter's basketball games, and I will be back. I may be out and about on Wednesday afternoon. Otherwise, I'll be with the younger guys, but I for sure will be out in on Friday. So thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Share this with your friends, and stay safe. And
then was calling him names as he walked into his house. Gary Rasmussen, white male, mid-60s, heavy build, white shirt.